Hello and welcome to this revision video for the GCSE Edexcel Superpower Relations and Cold War course. What was the Grand Alliance? The Grand Alliance, or Big Three, were the three main allies that worked together to defeat the Axis powers, mainly Germany. But they were all quite different. So how did they work together? In simple words, they had one common enemy, which was Hitler. Now if you don't know the differences between these guys, that's a little concerning, but anyways, I'll just go through it. Roosevelt was the American president who believed in capitalism and democracy. Churchill was a conservative. And finally, Stalin was a totalitarian communist. Now you can see, capitalism and communism are essentially polar opposites. Seems pretty grim for the big three. Nevertheless, they worked together and met up in Tehran, Yalta and Potsdam. In Tehran, the big three basically just talked about war strategies. They agreed upon two main things. There'd be a second front opened up in France. The second agreement was that Soviet troops would at some point help Americans fight Japan. Some smaller things you can note down is that Germany would definitely be kept weak. Germany would give some of its land to Poland. The Soviet Union would also keep bits of Poland that it gained during World War I. Finally, they agreed that an international body should be created to help prevent war. This would become the United Nations, which we'll look at in our next conference. You can see here how Poland's borders changed, so you know. Hopefully that helps you remember. In February 1945, the Yalta Conference took place. So the war was coming to an end by now, and they agreed upon two main things. The first was that Germany should be punished. They had to pay reparations, being denazified, and famously split into 4 zones. We'll talk about Germany more in the next slide. The second was the creation of the United Nations. Some extra bits to know is that Stalin agreed that governments in Eastern Europe would be elected freely. This didn't really age pretty well. Polish borders would also return to the ones in 1921, which strongly benefited the Soviets. The final conference was Potsdam, of July and August. There were new leaders, so now things were a little different. It was starting to become the big two. Clement Attlee, the new Labour Prime Minister, was more concerned about helping Britain recover from war. But President Truman basically pulled a massive middle finger to Stalin. He essentially wanted to stand up to communism. This made Stalin a little bit concerned. Also, Hitler was defeated, so they had no reason to be friends anymore. They only really agreed on one thing, which is the division of Berlin and Germany. Here's what it looks like, if it helps. Truman had kind of went back on Roosevelt's words. He thought that Germany didn't deserve those heavy reparations. He also said that Poland's borders should be different, but this never actually changed. Finally, Truman didn't want Stalin to have as much control over Eastern Europe. All these 3 things were ignored. Shame. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. Give us a thumbs up, please. It only takes a second. Now here are some quiz questions to test your knowledge. And here are the answers. I'll see you next time.